Hi, this is Erin from Blossy Bee. Welcome to my channel. The plan for this video is to use the rest of the moulds purchased in my recent TEMU order, this time with epoxy resin. This is part 2 of this series, so if you haven't yet watched part 1, I recommend you do so first because you'll get to see me unpacking all of the moulds I'm about to use, plus some cute first makes in Eco Casting Powder. The first moulds I'm going to be using are these cute 2 dinosaur moulds. I'm going to be using a couple of different ways of filling them. First of all, Coastal Breeze and Evergreen from the Solid Solutions mica powder range. These are going to give me a matte finish, or I think they are. I'm assuming these are matte moulds and fairly solid colours. And I guess when you see dinosaurs depicted, they often have that sort of bluey green colour to their skin. So that's the way we're going with this. But then in a few minutes we're going to get a little bit sparkly as well. And I don't think that that's true to life. In fact, I'm certain it's not true to life. But anyway, we're not going for total authenticity here. And if you look at the mould, they're probably not a genuine representation of dinosaurs. These are cute, cartoonish ones, and I'm hoping we get a really pretty outcome. So I'm mixing these up quite carefully. I don't want to have any little flecks of loose pigment in them. And then I'm going to mix up 2 little batches of the same resin using these 2 glitters. And I've got a greeny blue glitter and a really pretty green glitter. So exactly the same process, stirring them carefully, and then we'll pour them in. I didn't realise it at the time of pouring these, but found out fairly quickly. There are 12 cavities in the light blue mould, and there are 6 different types of dinosaurs depicted. So there's 2 of each. I got so confused. I think I thought there were 4, and then I wasn't really sure, and I could sort of feel I was hesitating and looking at them, but we get there in the end. So I'm going to fill these fairly high, slightly doming them, because I know that the resin may shrink a little bit and I want to get a nice smooth back. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with these because I've got no idea whether they'll look pretty or whether they'll stand up on their own, things like that. But just in case I want to put magnets on the back or turn them into key rings, things like that, I do want them to have a really smooth back to them. Now I did add a little bit of the Elmer's glue to each of the glitter mixes just so I could try and minimize the amount of glitter that drops down through the resin. And it makes it quite a thick, almost slime mixture. It still cures beautifully, and if you would like to see more of this technique, the person to look for is Daniel Cooper. His channel on YouTube was where I first saw this technique being used. So I've moved on to the larger of the 2 moulds. Now these ones are 4 different dinosaur shapes and 8 in total. So I'm only just going to use up the rest of this mixture into these. I'm not going to pour all of them today. And I'm just using the last little drops of some of the mica powder mixture to fill the last one up. So I'm going to now use this little sea urchin mould, and what I've decided to do is to add some clear resin just into the remaining few pieces in the cup of one of the glitters, the blue-green glitter, and I'm just trying to make sure I move it around and getting the best chance possible of it being in all the little holes. Then I'm going to add in some of the little glitter pieces and then I'll fill it up. So I'm very conscious of the fact there are lots of places for little air bubbles to lurk and stay in this mould. I'm hoping my technique of using just alternate pours of the remaining little pieces of the mica powder mixture will turn out quite pretty. Now that mould did start over pouring on the edge. I think somehow it's uneven. I'm not quite sure because I'm working on a levelling table, but just in case you've got that mould, be aware that that could be happening. So I'm using now that cute little butterfly mould. I've filled all of those, and now I've just got this little bunny rabbit mould, and I'm only going to do a couple here. These are going to be sort of just little test pieces, and I'll finish off all of the little bits of the bluey green colours, and then I'm going to introduce some pink sparkle just to switch things up a little bit. So I'm just going to mix that pink glitter into a little cup and then use up the rest of the resin by filling in one bunny and one dinosaur. That's all. But it's still representation, and I do add a little bit of the Elmer's glue again, so that we're trying to minimize the glitter falling down through the resin and just all ending up at the bottom. I'll set all of these aside to cure now and start working on my next moulds. And here we've got our owl. Now, my idea is that I'm going to make the base out of a really pretty silver holographic glitter and a silvery, sparkly, chunkier glitter as well. And I'm going to layer these in, and then I've mixed up 6 different other glitters. Yes, I'm being very extra, but I thought I'd like to try and see if I could make each of the owls a little bit different, but still fitting in with the base. So here we go. So I'm just going to try and get a bit of a blend here. I have poured the Elmer's glue into each of these mixtures because I really do want to try and have the glitter stay where I put it. And then I'm just going to take all of the different glitters. So I've got 8 glitters on the go now, but I'm only going to be using 3 in each of the owls. So I'm going to be using the fine silver holographic glitter, the larger chunkier silver glitter, and then each owl is going to have its own colour. So this one's a purpley sort of a colour, and I think this will look really pretty. And as I mentioned, the idea is that each of them will have similarities with the base, and so that they all should look pretty, but that they will all have their own sort of unique pattern as well. So I'll just speed this little part up where I go through, and because some of these are quite unfamiliar to me and I'm not quite sure how they work, I'm just going to do what I think, and then once I've demolded, then I can just sort of assess whether everything's in the right place. You know what it's like when you first pour a mould. Sometimes you're not exactly sure of how it will work out. Once I've finished using all of those different glittery resins for the owls, I've got plenty left over to do this cute little donut jewellery mould. And I'm really unsure of how far to fill these up, but I'm just going to make a guess. And I'm also getting our little house mould out again, and this time we're making little resin houses. So in the previous video, I made some with Eco Casting Powders, and I just love them. They are so cute. So now I'm very interested to see what they look like in resin. And as you can see there, I've got a bit of an issue with that reddy coloured owl. I'm not sure whether that's meant to have a light amount of resin over that area, or whether it's meant to be blank. So this could be a big mistake. So I've gone with the little bit of a light area, thinking, oh, maybe I can clean it up if that's not right, but we'll see when we get to demould. So I'm just alternating, finishing off the resin between the jewellery mould and the little houses, and I'm really excited to see how these are going to come out. And I've also grabbed our little cow mould. Now this one I'm not so certain is going to be a huge success in resin, because I think it's quite a matte mould, but I've got plenty of resin left over, so I'm just layering in all the colours you can imagine from my previous makes there, and we'll just see what happens. We'll let the resin work its magic and see if it blends and moves around and what we come up with. I can't tell you how much glitter I had around the house after this. Still finding it. It's just everywhere. And I don't use glitter as consistently as some people do, I know. And that's part of the reason why. What do they say? It's like it's like dandruff. It just gets everywhere. But anyway, it makes things look pretty and sparkly, and I'm happy with that. This certainly made me very happy seeing all these pretty things there that we're making, and I'm excited to see how these turn out. So the owls I'm doing for the first time with resin, and the cow and the little houses I'm doing them with resin after seeing what they look like with Eco Casting Powder. So it's pretty exciting to have them to compare. And then the next day, oh my goodness, I don't think I realised I made this much. It's going to be a very big demoulding session. Let's have a look at the dinosaurs. So first off, this is one of the ones that I just used the mica powder resin in, and I just love it. That satiny finish is just so beautiful. It's absolutely mesmerizing, and I'm so happy with that. I'm so excited to see what the rest look like. So there's the first 4, and now we move on to the glitter ones. Now these are super pretty, but I just think I love the mica powder ones more. I'd love to know what you think. Let me know in the comments. It's just, there's something about that shimmering sheen, and very happy with these. It's so interesting, the difference between moulds, if they are matte or a satin finish or a gloss shiny finish, and the different results with mica powders versus glitters. And I think it's always worthwhile testing them out with different options, because you just don't know. Like, I am just so in love with the top and bottom row, the mica powder ones. Just love them. Let's have a look at our little resin houses. And oh my goodness, these are so over the top sparkly. These are an upper class type of resin home, I think. These ones are a little bit fancier than the Eco Casting Powder ones, and they're really pretty. And the great thing about these two, of course, is that they're going to be probably a little bit more resilient. So I do find with the Eco Casting Powder, they are very solid and they cure very strong, but if you drop them, they definitely can break. Look at this plum colour. Oh, isn't it beautiful? My camera is really struggling to focus on the smorgasbord of goodies down in front of me and then the pieces that I'm holding up, but I hope that you can get the general idea. And so the answer to my question about would these houses look good in resin be, it's a resounding yes. They look super cute. Okay, now we've done those, I've got the bigger dinosaur ones to demould, and these look great. These are very chunky, they're very wide, probably twice the size of the others at least. And there definitely has been some glitter fall down through the resin, so the using Elmer's glue technique isn't foolproof. Perhaps I needed to use a little bit more, but these still look great, and I've got a few ideas to do these again in the future with. Here's our little pink one too. Not bad. And now let's have a look at our little sea urchin. And I'm loving the colours, but I'm not loving that little hole in the middle, so I might have to have a think about that. And these are our little donut jewellery pieces, and they are looking super pretty. Loving that plum colour again. There's just something so mesmerising about it. In real life, when you see it, it's just gorgeous. So these ones, I think I'm going to probably finish these off with a leather or a waxed cord. I think that's what they'd be pretty with. And now our teeny tiny little butterflies. So I only just showed one because they were so tiny, but they're all there on the mat. And now our little bunnies. And these are cute too. Again, very thick and chunky. Okay, time to have a look at our resin cow planter. And I'm wondering if this is going to be as nice as the Eco Casting Powder ones, because they were pretty special. The thing is too that I can see straight away that this is definitely a match mould, and so there's really not a lot of point of putting all of the glitters in here unless I'm going to give it a coating of clear resin on the outside. But I still think it looks adorable. Just so pretty. It's such a lovely mould, this one. I'm really happy with that. Okay, so lastly, we've got our owls. So we've got the actual trinket box or the base, and remembering this can also be a night light. So this could be the back of that. And this is the one that I did in the two different silvery glitters, and with the hope that it will look good with any of the tops that I've poured. And so it's gorgeous. So happy with this. It's a really pretty mould. Let's see if we've got some nice matching tops. I'll go through and demold these ones fairly quickly, but overall I was really happy with them. I've decided I'm going to need a part 3 of this series because you might have noticed with my voice, I'm really not feeling very well at the moment. I've caught another sort of a cold, and I just want to spend a little bit more time finishing these pieces off so I can show you everything together. So I'll upload this video. I look forward to hearing in the comments any suggestions you have, or how you would have done things differently, or indeed how you finish these pieces off. And I'm really grateful for you spending this time with me. I've been very happy with this order, with all of the moulds that I've purchased and the other little bits and pieces. And I'm looking forward to showing you everything at the end of the next video. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.